What is your, do you sympathize with Liquid fans? Trying to be a fan of Liquid when it's so volatile and unpredictable?
I think because the team is such a mystery. Like, they're a team who says a lot in interviews, but it always is like, well, was that really what's going on? And if that's the case, well, why aren't we getting the results that we think we should? And you consider the experience of this team. I was taking a quick look at some of the numbers before we got into this matchup in terms of combined majors. Okay. You look at the Liquid side of things. In total, they have 41 major appearances between the 5 players, and so that's 12 apiece for likes of Nitro and Liege, 10 for Nav, 4 for Yakinda, and 3 for OC. On the other side, it's Navi, Simple leading the charge, 13. 10 for Electronic, 5 for Perfecto, 4 for Bit, and MPL's first. Oh. He's only 17, so that's 33 major appearances for this team, but they have a major win under their belt. Stockholm, once we return from the pandemic, and this team will be looking to touch another for the fabled organization. But here we go, into the gun rounds, exchange of utility and banana, softened up and ahead of this.
I like that from Electronic. He definitely wants to play this forward angle. And oh, you geek, Yakinda just with the jump gets info off that from Electronic. He's stubborn. Whoa! They line up for him, a 2-for-1 deal. Buy one, get one free, and maybe a free bomb site too.
Wow, that has to be the round already. Already done and dusted. That is huge from Yakinda.
How often does that happen?
But you're going to get a lot of this in this game. If they're going to be stubborn with their banana controller here on the Liquid side, it'll be Yakinda taking on the likes of Electronic. So we have to really keep an eye on that battle. And I love how Electronic called his bluff there. He realized he got spotted, couldn't go back, had to go forward into the fight. Even made a pretty good play. It's the fact that Perfecto goes down first there, trying to be that supportive element. So it must have been some blinders of shots there from Yakinda. Great stuff from him, up to 7 kills already. And now a 4-0 conversion here for Liquid. This is the best start you could have hoped for on a map where last time round, you heard Blade mention it in the interview there, they played in Kato on this very map, and yeah, oh, they beat them, he said. Yeah, I think we beat them. Yeah, you beat them 16-5.
Ooh, yoy. Well, maybe there's some more lessons for Liquid to learn than Navi would from the same demo.
Well, then you contrast that with Alicia's interview saying, yeah, they haven't played against our style, so, they don't really know what to expect. But at the same time, I could isolate some issues with their style in the fact that it is Nitro playing that pit anchor position, and he did a good job against teams like Greyhound, but it was Greyhound, right, who weren't trading. He was getting away with 3 kills in the pit, one after one after one.
Here it is. So there's Perfecto spot.
Oh, my Lord. All right, didn't have to do a lot there, did he?
I didn't even process that it was actually Perfecto that dies first. Ooh, yep, Yakinda happened, and face to the palm.
Yakinda, if you could move your face a little bit further from the screen, that over-the-shoulder cam, we might be able to see more than just your sideburns, mate. So,
I never want my parents to tune in when Liquid are playing, because the whole eyes are going to turn square thing. They feel like they're making a point when they see Yakinda. I mean, that man can smell the pixels.
Again, with the double nades, top banana instantly with the molly as well here from Liquid. So we'll keep an eye on how they want to continue to thwart the aggression of Electronic. They have got now another buy here with the saved rifles and the aggression behind the smoke.
If he gets him again, he's going to start getting under Electronic's skin. I mean, how diligent? Not diligent enough. Oh, Electronic. He restrains himself and waits for more. He can win the round here. And yeah, Yakinda does force the fight. A cursory glance behind him. I think he was just looking for his teammate.
Yeah, you're frustrated there. And with Yakinda doing some of the calling, it's going to be a classic in-game leader trope where you're turning around, seeing where your teammates are, checking the utility above their head. I know it's still quite early on in the round, and that's caught Electronic off there. So the fact that he did grab one.
Works out all right?
Yeah, sure. He was hoping for a whole lot more.
Still very much a round up for debate then. As Simple still on that scout. Still yet to frag, by the way, as well. Kept keeping the goat quiet. The scout will fill the feed for his first. Perfecto even cheating away. And there's the scout connection. Now does that encourage them forward? Elige is on the way, looking for trouble, looking for action. Flash is caught by Simple. No support on the cross back. And yeah, another tag. 2 from Simple. Nothing lethal. Nav has slipped behind enemy lines. A freebie. A Simple scout. Whoa! Slaps Nav away, swatting one, but that fly is gone. OC's the one to stabilize for the plant.
Now, do they want to consider this? We know how difficult the site to retake is. It's a bit of a cliche these days. And number disadvantage, low HP diffuse kit there. Util all for naught. A very, very difficult round to win here. They could have gotten off over towards ruins. They could have pushed out towards tree. They have no information of what's going on in CT spawn or that site crossfire, so they will think the better of it. And Liquid continue their winning ways here. This is really a fantastic start. Here's the opener. The moment in which he decided to turn around and ruin Electronic's plans. And here it is. You can see the jump scare. Yeah, the jump scare for Yakinda right there. And the smile on the face of Electronic. But just taking a look at how these 5 rounds have opened up. The opening kill advantage is massively with Navi. We're talking 4-1. So they've only given up 1 opening exchange, but they're yet to be able to convert a round here. So being out-positioned in a lot of these scenarios, that's the key. Being outmaneuvered. Sure, you get the opening pick, maybe it gets traded back, but when they're out of position and they're stacking the wrong sides, Inferno is a very gambly map, and Navi are one who love to go for those reads. Right now, I might be reading from right to left or upside down.
Well, I think, yeah, their world is turning upside down with every passing round. The fact that Liquid have 5 in the bank on T's side, and this being a best of 1, you can't help but feel that this is the dream start for Liquid, and quite the contrast or contrary to Navi. Blades on the mic.
Yeah, and we have been having a conversation throughout this year with the stats leaning towards Inferno being a T-sided map. One of the keys for the CTs, I would say, and we'd say it on all maps, but I think maps that are T-sided, especially so that CT pistol and conversion is great guns to help you maybe get up to a half win.
Right.
Navi now needs to try and piece this back together, and one of the keys is going to be util. So you can see Famis's in lieu of M4s. Utility to boot here to try and get some of this map control.
And first AWP for Simple.
Has to find impact on this here.
Start with a 3-2 split. Lots of action's been going down here on Banana early. And Yukinda will be battling for it. Bit of a Molly extinguish and charge into Electronic. Wow, 1 out the duel. Famas v AK. That's a huge win for Navi. Can they build upon it? Looks like they want to re-aggress, get answers. Nitro to try and take the same form of pressure. They're going to concede that AK.
Quite quick here, yeah. It looks like they want to take some space. They've identified there's 3 players B right now. Elysian, Naf, Halls, and Boiler. But without the rest of the team, they can't press the issue too much. MPL's been able to rotate back over to his responsibilities of Arch side. And as Simple's AWP, who's now having to worry about Shore and Apartments.
Yeah, nice positioning from Simple. No nade damage from that one. Chucked out in hopes of a bit of chip unconfirmed damage, but instead...
But I like this for them. Again, they've given up the opening pick, right? So this is now, what are we talking? 5-1 in that department. But if they're to execute B, they have a 2-man advantage. They just have to trade efficiently here. And then that means Navi probably left scratching their head again, not wanting to go for a retake.
Probably the conversation Yukinda's just had with the boys.
So if Perfecto and Electronic don't get a killer piece here, and it's not a 2v3 retake for Navi, it could be 6 in a row for Liquid, who are already on fire.
Well, that was about 30.
The gap in that smoke, massive gap.
NPL should have a very profitable angle if they try and cross-pull. Here's Perfecto for the 1, gets it done. OC responds, a nice from Naf, and look at that. Naf has gotten them into the site. A 2-on-2 emerges. Do Navi have a go?
Notice how everybody didn't get a kill right there for Navi. Otherwise, they would have been able to lock this one down. Now, Bit and Simple left coming in blind. Bomb down, 2 to find.
More from Naf, maybe. First game was great from Naf here in the Legend stage. Rising in form as the stakes get higher. Elige, good for the first and not quite the second. Simple on for the clutch. If he could just get onto that bomb, force the fight. He's light on time. He's going for the whole one. Pros don't fake. Pros don't fake.
Oh!
Apparently the GOAT does change his mind. How has Naf gotten away with that one? How does that happen?
It didn't look like Simple was doubting himself at all. There goes Snap. He's a cerebral player. Someone who's probably going to try and play out this clutch. Well, he was running the opposite way. He definitely made a step, but it was away from the fight, not into it. And this is 3 players over towards the site here to level out this 4v3 situation over towards B. Simple grabs one back onto Elige, 1-on-2 Shore. And Naf just has to punt this in because Simple down, sitting that defuse.
Okay.
And there's the self-anointed hype man OC getting loud. Had to pick up that mantle.
Oh, that does take me straight back to the LAN halls. OC's got the sound right. He's got the sound right. And Liquid, this fire is yet to be extinguished. Oh no, Electronic versus Yukinda. We'll keep a tabs on that head-to-head if we can, Chad, because this is a recurring theme.
And that right there is only the second opening for Liquid. So you'd more than expect them to be able to convert this one. They've been winning rounds with less, much less.
So surely, sorry, I need to stop doing that. That's the curse word. So likely, should, Alex, stop. Limited weapon.
Potentially.
Potentially, thank you, yes.
More than likely.
More than likely.
In this universe.
Oh, NPL's dead as a doorknob.
Peace.
That's an awkward death. When you still got your smoke grenade in your hand, you have You've made a misjudgment there.
It's feeling like an awkward game right now. This is just running away with things from Liquid, isn't it? The fact we're up to 7-0, it's been a very quick game. I'm just going back and looking at the scoreboard to see the head-to-heads between Electronic and Yakinda.
So we heard from Elysia in the interview talking about how they feel like they're playing their best game and have their hardest game now, but in terms of them rising to form, and he was attributing some of that to that Challenger stage. He mentioned it himself, that by playing through the Challenger stage, they've kind of gotten the kinks out of their system. As someone that's participated in the major circuit, that's done that qualifier into the main event, you know, do you feel that that is an undisputed advantage?
So unfortunately, back in my day, they were very disjointed. But looking at the flow of that in these days,
Yeah.
I think that it should be a positive for the upper echelon teams.
Right.
I think if you're a G2 or a Liquid or a FaZe, and two of those names I've just mentioned lost their opening games, you should come in here with this comfort, a big sense of comfort that you already know what it's like to be playing on that setup, right? So
Sure.
You don't have to worry about getting like the little details. Oh, you know, this table's like this, or there's little details when you come into a LAN environment.
Familiarity.
Even just where the bathroom is.
Yeah, sure.
You know, it's the little things.
What kind of snacks they have. I mean, we joke, but we don't. It is everything. We all know as Counter-Strike players ourselves, albeit not perhaps to this degree, that it is those little things. You know, my chair's a different height. Anyone that's gone and tried to play at a different desk and it's all just a little bit higgledy-piggledy, it takes you a while to acclimatize. And that's not me making excuses for Navi, more so just pointing at this upswing from Liquid. They are comfortable right now. And the fact that they're winning rounds, as you've been highlighting, while losing the opening duels, it's certainly promising. I mean, that bit, second round force with a double 5-7, that was an opening and a half, and it still didn't translate.
Again, they've had opportunities, but they just haven't had the people in the right places. So if someone gets a multi, but the stack of Navi's on the other side, especially on a low buy, that's going to be really difficult to convert. And look at this buy round for Navi now. We're carrying a couple of MP9s across here. 3 in total and 2 M4s. You wouldn't think we're at round 8 of the game.
No, it's very peculiar.
But it needs to start now for Navi. Just some fire in the belly here, because a lack of frags is a huge conversation for everybody on the Navi side of the server. We got 4 at the high end for Perfecto and Electronic, and well, MPO with just 1, Simple with only 2, and Bit, he's got 3, and 2 of those with the 5-7 you were talking about. Up mid, brackets pressure. Under the pump, a Navi.
They're in trouble. I mean, this is a crossfire, certainly. Bit at NPL, the two youngins. Responsible for the short side, but it's Yakinda that comes a knock in long. That smoke arch sows seeds of doubt, kept at bay by the flames for a moment, but this looks like the final hit. Simple will be tucking into the site as well. Now, he's the only one with a threatening rifle on this site. So in terms of that M4, it does have to be Simple. Alongside these SMGs who take first contact, a conversion of the first. That doesn't seem like it's enough, but maybe they overlook it. OC, a clear, but straight into Simple. Holding firm on the site, looking for Navi to awaken from their slumber. Simple, aware of the duel, but cleared nicely. Nitro should have facilitated a plant and around as Yakinda catches Electronic. Rounding that corner, that is another Liquid round 8 as they run through this T side.
Now, I want to say that Navi look a bit discombobulated with some of the decision-making in these buy rounds, and that is true. But Liquid are playing great. Right? You can't take anything away from Liquid here. You can only credit that this does not look like the same team that we saw only days ago in that Challenger stage. 8-0 against Navi out the gates going gangbusters right now. And I've been looking at that head-to-head. Yakinda's on top of Electronic here, 4-2 so far in those duel exchanges. Not all of them in banana, but here we go. Another buy round with a question mark for Navi. Simple's AWP, sure. Electronic with another SMG. Rifles out to play. But the half has already been won.
Yeah, this ablaze for Liquid, and that Yakinda Electronic head-to-head feels imminent. He wants info. He's been heard. Yakinda already setting his sights on it. Will extinguish and retreat. Flame stop the hunt from Electronic. He'll have to be a bit more humble on the B site.
They've maintained a little bit of mid-info here with this AWP on the fade of the smoke. So Simple posted up. We'll need to hit this first shot. They're going to go dry, so the elbow has been spotted. Shot missed. MPO on notice, but Simple with the reaggress.
That's nice in terms of the information, right?
I think the information's gone the other way. Liquid have more than enough to know, hey, we don't want to go towards that AWP right now. Let's go knock on the door of the B bomb site once more.
What's Perfecto lining up for? He's way back towards the coffin side with something in his hands.
Just a HE. So this is actually for when they cross to pool.
Yeah, so I guess Electronic can hope that he can get something done. They are returning to Simple on this mid-brackets area, but the bomb B, so they're going for this double pump. And that's successful from Simple. They needed the trade. He builds a second instead, puts Nitro down in the dumps, in the dirt. Okay, Yakinda's made a round out of it. They can get the bomb down. This should be a Navi retake, but Yakinda, he's on one right now. A double so far, pushing up for more fights. Does he really push the issue into Simple's scope? They both go towards the ruin side.
Still very winnable round right now, considering the form Yakinda's in, and OC to either set him up or trade off. It looks like OC is going to be the bait in this one.
Oh, do they fall for it? He has to be active on this jiggle. Now would be great. One's already crossed the line, and that's another jewel for Yakinda.
Bomb's already half gone. It has to be a save. The round is done. There's no way back in. They're too far away, and they might even lose the orb. Yakinda steps out. Simple gets something. They accelerate. They're going for this.
NPL's on it. He's got a kit, and Simple has secured it. Right down to the final few seconds of that bomb. And
it looked like they were backing off for the save.
It really did. And I can understand it. I mean, Simple just had to get 4 kills in order to put the first round on the board for Navi.
So if they didn't step out and take that fight, the round was done. Without Liquid giving them their first round, there was no way that Navi were meant to win this one. I think what they're trying to do is play games as well. So they showed face top mid. Simple takes a shot. They expect him to think that they're going to go to the other side because they just saw him. They're faking out the B side. They're going back top mid. Simple deals with it, so they have to have that conviction. They make mincemeat of Perfecto and Electronic.
So both OC and Yakinda might be kicking themselves a little bit.
Just a little bit, because they really could have won that round.
Yeah, a lot of heavy lifting from Yakinda there.
Oh, it needs a lot more of those here before Navi can even have the conversation of breaking Liquid. And one of the positives you have on the T side right now is you do also have a haul of cash, but your loss bonus is going to build if you lose consecutive rounds. You keep getting the bomb down. You shouldn't have any dramas buying a Simple cops a nade.
Yeah, significant damage, but he doesn't back away. Electronics desperately trying to bait them. Surely Nitro has put 2 and 2 together and realized, Electronics being a bit too comfortable around that half wall. Perhaps there is the Zoom banger posted. How does Yakinda react to that sort of information? Whoa. That is a naughty way to do it. Management of his angles, Simple, beheaded, and Banana controlled. Bloody hell.
Yeah, little do they know how empty the side is. You might be expecting Electronic and Perfecto still to be there and Simple just to be that forward spear. Now they can apply some top mid pressure. This smoke will be boosted over. Oh, maybe not. They're creeping into it.
Back to turn. Naf removes bit though. And okay, Elige was aware of the disrespect. A bit of a mess from MPL. Gets away with the double. Still not looking great. Oh, that would have. They do disrespect the incendiary and retrieve the bomb. So holding onto this site. Ooh, chip damage still from MPL. Holding on by a thread.
He's pinned. He's dead.
He's dead. Yakinda puts his 16th frag in the feed.
Yakinda's having a great game. And one of the keys that we know to when Liquid was doing well, it was Yakinda and Elige both coming online simultaneously. We got the scores on the doors for you right here. Isn't this one perfect? Ooh. 16 for 6, almost 150 ADR for Yakinda so far. Nobody on the other side of the server even close. And the only round that Navi have to boast is when Simple got 4K on the AWP. So that's a single man winning them around. And this is a little boost. I love the way they've done that. Look at the detail there. Notice how the angle that they've come from. It's not just, you would expect it standard more on Simple's left, right? They've come from the right side.
But that's, you know...
That's the details of peeking.
But also, all of that information was based off of Electronic being a bit too loud. You know, like they knew there was probably an AWP there as a product of someone being a little more loud than they normally are. And the reaction to it was beautiful. No dry peaks, no silly business. That was just, you could see that from Simple's POV, just the tip of Yakinda's beret poking out appropriately here in Paris.
How does this one sound as I just take a look at the scoreboard on HLTV? Yakinda has 7 multi-kills so far in this game.
How many rounds have we played again? 10.
We played 10 rounds. He's got 7 multi-kills. Everybody else in the server only has 1.
Stabbed as well. A little left-click action, a little love tap.
Maybe he deserved it.
Yeah, okay, maybe.
You know, he's the new guy. You got to do a bit of the hazing.
Oh, dear.
You never know what's going on inside. But they've been smiling more.
They have, and
maybe look like they're having a little bit more fun in the Navi camp.
And they made, you know, the first game looked like it was Navi in attendance immediately. Game of Legion, competitive at times. Elige trying to take down Simple, and Yakinda's been chunked, and that's long open. Elige has got himself a multi now as he's trying to catch up.
They're also correcting the whole opening kill disparity that was going on. So in the early stages, it was very, very much one-sided for Navi, but now starting to be drawn back as Elige will get his 3rd in the round. Bits found some traction, but should be swept away in a moment's time. It is just one man standing, and that is Perfecto with the rifle. Whew, a nice shot, and that's all that's going to be. A huge round for Elige right there. And that is the recipe for success. So if Elige can catch up, like you're saying, if you can maybe try and chase down Yakinda here, this one might be over quicker than everybody thought. 10-1. How often did Navi get blown out?
That's another question I don't have answers to. That can't, I mean, eye test / goldfish brain says not often. Infrequently would be my fence-sitting answer.
And that, right, yeah, I feel it was a question.
Yeah.
I felt a bit rhetorical.
Yeah,
Navi very rarely get blown out.
Okay, number 2, timeout for Blade, getting on the mic. Now, of course, when we talk about system, and you'll hear it in interviews from Navi players, this is the man that I see at the top of that system. Blade builds it, and Navi execute it. Of course, Electronic most closely in tune with what that system entails. Of course, every player has to be. And look at that fancy sticker. That's a lot of pixels and dollary dues.
This is really going to shake things up if Liquid are in that 2-0 bucket here at the end of day 1. Last stage, 0-2. Next stage, the hardest stage, harder opponents, mind you, 2-0.
Yeah, and I want to have a conversation with you about slow starts, and we're not ready for that yet because we've got a round of Counter-Strike ahead of us. But a characterization of Liquid that they do tend to start slow. I'd love to investigate that further. What could that possibly mean as someone that, that thinks and breathes Counter-Strike?
Well,
how do you explain that?
In their interview, before they got into the Challenger stage, they said they didn't think they were going to start slow. So
Well, let's stop giving interviews.
It's really hard to put your finger on Liquid. And again, this is just a whole new look to this team being a force right now as they just have established basic map control. They do have Banana. They have to clear out Sandbag Shore. Top mid will be their next port of call. Simple Zorp strikes. That's a flick into Elige. Not a bad shot to start off the account here. You need every round from this point out, Navi, and they're the type of team who could salvage 5. 4 consecutive required going into the halftime break. And then it's back on as business as usual. The normal Navi can resume.
Navi probably absolutely terrified that they've found the opening. Admittedly, as we've discussed, it's been leveled out.
Yeah, I don't think it even matters what Navi do at this point, does it?
No,
if they could just not over-rotate, that would be key. So will they be faked out again? BU2 up and over. No steps behind it, but Simple's still coming. He's still coming.
Does, yeah. I mean, you can see he's in limbo right
If they don't multi-kill, they give up the side again.
It's happening.
They need a multi-kill.
What have you got? NPL, an empty hand, only bit. What have you got? What can you do? Simple smoked off. They know likely bit around here somewhere. Hard clear, easy frag, sight lost.
Pwned.
They are getting pwned with a P as an 11th is on its way.
It's just, this is it. They are owning their rotation so much. Like in that scenario right there, if MPO and Bit, if they don't get a kill each, we need better than that. They really need a multi-kill from at least one of them and the other guy to grab a frag to try and make this possible here. It's another round with the opener, and they just can't do anything about it because they're being outmaneuvered this entire game from start to finish, outmaneuvered and outshot by Yakinda.
And can we talk about the fact that Yakinda's calling?
I'm loving it here,
right?
And they're starting to hunt.
And calling. As a product of Nitro not being able to be there for that first week of boot camp, a temporary change they claim, but if Liquid can have Yakinda at the top of the scoreboard and make Navi look like a, well, like a shadow of what we expected.
A minnow right now in a sea of big fish. But I like the way that Maui summarized that whole situation. Pimp was also chipping on this, but it was kind of, he didn't say vibe, but by committee, I think was the vernacular that Maui was using. Because, yeah, it is key to point out that, hey, maybe Yakinda is the point man at the moment, but if somebody else is feeling it and is going to be calling those shots, it'd be out of the two of them. So maybe Nitro be making the calls if Yakinda's not hitting his shots, because as a player like Yakinda, who is in a lot of forward places, it is nice to be able to call around what you want to do, especially if you're hitting
when it's working.
Exactly,
yeah,
and when it doesn't, then yeah, okay, Nitro, I need some help. What can we do? What does the rest of the team have?
Okay, I like that framing a lot.
Well, they know they're ahead of this.
This is horrible! Oh, Yakinda's done it again. The setup. He knocks him down like Skittles. Navi definitely not tasting any rainbows, though. This is absolutely dominant from Liquid. We're looking at a 12th, and it's a guarantee. Yeah, Simple and NPL already just going to have a little mothers meeting over towards the pit side because this round is in the bank.
I was talking about salvaging a 10-5 half. This is now just maybe salvaging a little bit of pride and seeing if they're able to get 3 rounds in total on the CT side. But that molly was burning. They knew they were there, which means he's so much more certain calling for that flash. And both ahead. You can see how blind they were. It wasn't a wombo combo setup with someone top banana. They're both committed because of the util usage. And Liquid, they're just owning them here. It's more impressive because of what they're forcing of the rotations from a macro game standpoint here. Like, individually, we've seen some nice shots out of Yakinda, who's just continuing to dominate. There's nobody... yeah, he can't miss. 19 and 6 right now.
Give him another one. Simple, definitely still Simple.
Simple's kills mean nothing. The 4 kills he got to win 1 round, sure. But everything else, there's no other impact from anybody, right? Maybe it's a little bit flashy. Maybe it's a little bit exciting, sure. But you don't want to count these stats for anything. It's all for naught.
Well, as you were discussing, you know, for you, the main and most impressive part of it, sheesh. It's sure there's some headshots involved, but yeah, Navi are actually being out counter-striked at its most scientific. And there's disbelief on the face of Electronic, like you just feel helpless. And this is not a feeling that Navi are accustomed to at all. And Blade desperately trying to like keep hold of some morale, try and piece it back together again. And look at the contrast. I haven't seen Dap smile in a whole week. That challenger stage, I think he added an extra 10 years onto his aging process. But yeah, look at this. This is a change in vibe. OC doesn't even need to be shouting.
No,
you know, he's just chilling.
Conserve your voice, mate. You're going to be in the 2-0 column tomorrow. 1 best of 3 from the playoffs.
Only the Sith speak in absolutes, Chad. They most likely. I'm not. Actually, this does feel pretty helpless for Navi. They have called their 3rd timeout in this best-of-1 first half. Look at that round recap. It is brutal. And one oopsie from Liquid, by the way, in terms of that round from Navi.
Trying to look for some of their bigger losses in recent history. They had a loss to Astralis in Pro League, 16-3 on Overpass.
Okay, 3.
So
keep that. I guess we can draw that line in the sand if we must.
Yeah, as long as they don't get more than 3, we could say it's their worst loss Navi have had in recent history.
Okay, nice. It's nice to have things to say.
They even won that series, so it was only a map lost against Astralis. It wasn't even the series. So
Apps pop.
Not the end of the world.
Simple's here, though. See if he can do some damage. Perfect bait and switch. Bit 1. Nav takes down number 1. And NPL, was that a wallbang headshot? Oh, gross. Puts Bit on notice as well. They're into the site. The bomb doesn't commit it. It's still in the apartments.
It doesn't even have to. There's so much time. They could still go elsewhere. They've drawn the rotation of both B defenders here.
Yeah, enough time has passed. You've got OC on the site. Perhaps he can find an angle. He hears them coming. Oh my god, OC! OC! Beautiful catch! Electronic stampeding through the smoke. Bit will catch him. They know where they are. And Yakinda's coming for you. That smoke will be up. No phases. He rounds the corner. Yeah, thinks better of it. Okay, mission is set for Navi. Knows B site likely open. And Yakinda has their rotations now. This is a timing. Bits accelerating. Spotted.
Saw him.
Okay, now the race is on. Do they opt for Banana? Yeah, they don't know about Yakinda. They don't know whether a CT is safe. And so they will chase him. Hightailing it to Banana. A plant for CT. Smart about it. And they left the kit. They
have a smoke. I know they responded to this so quickly, the kit can be slightly negated here. I know it's still going to be an issue, but not as big as it would have been if they were still in pit.
So Naf needs 1. And as long as he can survive, Yakinda can finish the round. As long as he can rock that clock. Half gone now, Navi on the clears. Smoke on the bomb makes it uncomfortable, but Yakinda's the first to strike. And that now enables a reposition information. It goes both ways. Perfecto knows the clutch, and he's only got the 10-seconder. Okay, Yakinda will eventually tap away, and on fire indeed. They've done it twice now as they ignite a second time. 5 in a row, 5 on the trot, and Navi just looking to save some face in our final round of this first half. This was a great catch. And Electronic again, these steps come back to haunt him. OC just building a perfect picture as to where he needed to be.
It's another Yakinda multi-kill here. He's up to 9 multi-kills in total, 4 and 3 in opening exchanges.
Right, what, can we, if we can we check the ADR? He was at like 150. I wonder how he ends.
He's got 21 kills at the moment, 4 assists, 7 deaths. His ADR is probably about 140.
Bloody hell, for a half of Counter-Strike against Navi, that is someone at their A game. Screw A, this is S tier.
He's even got 194 utility damage. He's doing everything right now.
And yeah, potentially calling the shots.
We might get another Yakinda electronic head-to-head here as well.
Some IGL on IGL action, my favorite. Different context here, though. As Yakinda, the headhunter, does once again best electronic. He is going to be pulling his hair out as another win in that head-to-head.
It's going to be 14-1.
22 frags, Chad, in 15 rounds of play, and there could be more. NPL and Bit, this duo about to be exploited. A barrage of utility forcing their hand, their flash, they're staring at flames, they're helpless. And to rotate through, Simple has to get through the whole Liquid squad. This is a duel hinging on Bit and taken down. OC's rifle been filling the feed consistently. Something for the NPL there, a double no less. There's high impact in pursuit of the second. Simple does go down to the spray as Yakindo does manage to pull a second out of the hat. It's OC as well with the double up. Forced back. Winnable for Perfecto. Little gap to work with as he flashes himself through, or at least wants to suggest as such. Bomb now planted.
Nav's position is so strong here.
It's not a comfortable clear, and you have to be directly putting your back to OC if you want to clear it. OC should have it. Nice position for this close. Liquid,
Got no idea.
They got 14. Right here, right now, 14-1. And one of the many definitions of Liquid is clear, pure and flowing. And it certainly is right here, right now in Paris.
Flash. I'm resoaking this one. Flashing.
First, tougher.
Dead.
Nice, nice.
60.
Nice.
Back on.
Nice.
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 12 seconds. 2v2. I'm gonna go back all after.
One guy's gonna be flank, I think.
One's back home. Close CD, gonna go through main.
Stun. Both CD. One more with up.
One CD, up.
He has a gun now. He's in pit. He's not gonna defuse it, simple.
Nice! Good shit.
Good
Nice,
shit,
good job,
boys.
good job.
Wow, you definitely feel the juices flowing for Liquid, and if you have joined us, you've missed quite the half. Team Liquid, 14. That is not a bug on the screen. 14 for Liquid in that, well, T-side Inferno. Sure, there's a favor, Chad, but I mean, Yakinda, he just seems to have gone into a whole new world. He is in full control. He's managing the simulation, and he's managed to take Electronic down time after time.
Yeah, I know Maui's buzzword of the event is masterclass. I think he might be using that one again when they get to the desk to discuss this Yakinda performance. And it's not just been his fragging, it's been the macro game here and how they've been forcing Navi to rotate in certain situations, outmaneuvering them, and then while he's done that, dominating them as well. In the 15 rounds of play in the first half, Yakinda killed Electronic 7 times. So in that head-to-head of the quote-unquote in-game leaders, especially for that banana control, Yakinda was getting the better of him, and even with some cheeky maneuvers like this to deal with Simple, it's been great stuff. It's been phenomenal Counter-Strike here out of a Liquid who were more than struggling in that challenger stage, only made it on the final day of play in a 2-2 matchup. And the conversation has been, it's only been easy beats, easy teams that they've thrown around, Fluxo, Complexity, Greyhound. This is Navi.
And this is a quote from Nitro's interview with HLTV. I'd like you to just see how it lands on your eardrums. It feels like we play better versus the better teams, and we tend to make a lot more mistakes versus the weaker. I don't know why it's a thing. We're trying to figure things out. Now, we just finishes off with, I'm super excited to play against better teams in the next stage and show what we've got. Against the top 5 teams in the world, I feel like we actually play a lot better as a team.
Okay, well, case in point right here, and an interview that isn't thrown back in their face.
Oh,
so
for what?
2 W's today for Liquid.
Oh my God! Unicorn really have, they've put the pedal to the metal. I don't see 20 often, but Navi, understandably, with 1 round to boast on the first half, it's gone gangbusters. It's gone off the charts, and I mean, this pistol is for the map.
Yeah, the game already feels over, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You can see Perfected there, lobbing out that decoy. See if they can hit anybody behind the half wall, as well as turn out a little bit of a fake. You can get that sound cue if an nade hits you, so it's a cheeky little use case for it. But they are sitting back up to hit this A site, and Elige with some dual Berettas, plenty of bullets to deal with the onslaught.
And Simple
Didn't need any of them.
1.
Yeah. Okay, Nitro's turn.
Nitro's so dead and alone. It's already Navi into the site and looking to post their second.
Save. Yeah, makes sense. Hold on to the Kevlar on the likes of Naf and OC. Yakinda has a full belt of utility here. The bomb will go down. This round will be secure, and now it'll be the conversation of the greatest comeback in Navi's history. 14-1 down on their CT side of Inferno with the head-to-head. Last time they schooled Liquid just a few months ago in Cato, 16-5. And they've done it again here at the Blast TV Paris Major. But no,
Okay, you really cracked that out of the chest.
The next matchup, ENCE versus Vitality, Furia versus NIP, and B&E versus G2 as the final game on the mainstream here. Over on the secondary stream, we've got Launders and Scrawny bringing you Fnatic versus Monty right now. You can go check that out, Blast.tv. You've got the 4K, you've got the replays, you've got Counter-Strike, you've got the Launders show, you got all that good stuff. Apex versus Heroic will follow that, 9 versus Gamer Legion, and FaZe versus Into the Breach. That's the matchups in the best of ones remaining for day 1 of the Legend stage. But this is definitely not the start of something. This is like a prequel, that pistol round. We'll see if the company wants to invest, and we'll make a franchise out of this. But Liquid want to try and get it everyone done as quick as you like. Going to get into some FAMI. And this is what happens when you save on the pistol round. You can have a few drops across and make it a little bit tidier of a purchase.
I mean, and yeah, it becomes a new puzzle for Navi to solve. What have they invested? We know that there's going to be some extra bits and bobs.
Or biblies, as I believe you like to call them.
So most definitely. Well, their first foray into trying to open up Banana doesn't get too much done. Yakinda's still playing this angle, albeit a bit more actively as we've seen from Navi. And there's info off of a little elbow. Confirms. Vecto logs. NPL out the brackets. Oh, despite the flash, Elige and his partner in crime are about to be tested. A clean one from Electronic. Takes down one of the 2, or rather 3 FAMAS. 2 remaining.
It's drawn a big rotation here. They've completely given up over with that. Well, yeah, it looks like it. So this is going to be very difficult to break. If they wrap, more chances, but still the stack.
Yeah, I mean, NPL should use that Mac 10. You've got very good, favorable duels bounding around. Bit does not want to be taking that first contact from that balcony position. A second or a third component, sure. Simple working with the squad into the site. It's Yakinda that does reveal his FAMAS on default. Playing around it for a second. Electronic cut down to size and still bullets in the mag. Simple, confirmed, located. Bit. Oh, God! It's Yakinda all over the place. Still a winnable one. There's only one-on-one. Bit, okay. Hits the headshot. It had to be the headshot because chip damage came through. He gets away with 18 HP. As they managed to make that, Yakinda manages to make that incredibly competitive.
Yeah, massive stuff right there, and you can see you get caught between multiple fights.
Bloody hell.
Give him a few more bullets. I'm sure he could have taken them all down here. MPL was easy. The second one coming through for the trade. Electronic has multiple positions to have to worry about here. The third was great. This is where he gets in a bit of the strife, and, well, Bit staying true to his aim, able to pull them out of this one only just. Poor OC stuck with the cold box there as they will humble Liquid for a moment. Navi have fully reinvested here. MPL with a pesky MAC-10 once more as he swiftly gets himself up in towards that window room. Now, we did see rounds like this from Liquid on Anubis, where they would do a 4-man stack and Elige would be on his own. This is the same again. Elige playing A, the other 4 over towards B. MPL being thrown out as the lamb to the slaughter to grab that mid control, and has done so with great success. And I like this here. So if it was to be a B execute, just to talk about that little boost, the front player would get spotted and probably die as they make that initial exchange through, right? And then the second player deeper, you wouldn't be ready from him immediately, so might be able to come up and cheekily grab a kill or deny that plant going down. So if a round was to go late, you could see a little eco strat like that. You got to be more creative when you only have a handful of pistols like this.
Yeah, and check this one out for creative. Electronic is about to take himself at least 2.
That's some Yakinda revenge.
Yeah, still manages to add one for his name in that head-to-head.
To be fair, I did stop keeping track in the second half, so maybe I'll have to open back up the notepad here and...
Yeah. I do appreciate the grunt work you're putting in here, Chad, for this.
Doing it old school as well.
Yeah.
We're not digitalized. We've got out the paperwork.
And there's a Galil that OC will not be able to retreat with, so everything going hunky-dory for Navi here on 18.
I feel like the Blast TV poll should say, will Navi get more or less than 5 rounds, right? Because at this point, we're about to move into the gun rounds with the scoreline 14-4. If they win the first gun round, then yeah, I think they definitely can get over 5 at that point. Maybe even 7. 7. Who would have thought? Hanging out at the hay cart. As the bomb goes off, and there it is confirmed. So Navi trying to find themselves here.
So an average damage per round of 140 still held by Yakinda.
Yeah, that should slowly start to simmer down to something a little bit more reasonable.
It should.
But if you're a star level player and you're finishing a game with 100 ADR, that is fantastic work. That's a kill per round. It's again, for the context here, in the first day of play of each stage of the Challenger and the Legend stages, there's only best of ones. These are like we're sifting for gold right now. So win 3 and you're through, lose 3 and you're out. It's quite a simple solution right there. But this is best of ones, and we move into best of 3s. Not for everybody. For
he's pushing. OC, that is a little touch of bravery.
Happy to have a look, isn't he? And I think you want to try and avoid allowing Navi set up. Perfecto forward, taking the fight, peppered away at very low now. 20 points of health after that foray.
That'll do. That'll do for the defense from Liquid's B side. It does still look like Elige is going to want to back them up. And now it's about restraint. Actually interesting. He opts for the extinguish.
And he saw where it came from, though.
Yeah.
So I think Simple might be calling the bluff on that.
NPL still has to acknowledge the potential.
It's just very suspicious, isn't it?
Especially, but yeah, and using one of your limited smokes.
Well, they might try and reaggress on this.
There's only 2 of them. Naf and Yakinda really are going to need to get this one through. And that's Yakinda. Good for the first. Naf aggresses. Simple brought solo. They're both slow, but over the smoke, Perfecto gets them in. Bit still lingering mid. Nitro will be kept busy. And the rotation, Elige CCD. Timing favored the Brave. Nitro does go looking, doesn't find the frag.
They really need Bit. 42 health combined for Simple and Perfecto currently on the site.
No kit.
But they have a smoke here. Smoke off Banana, that's possible. Get the flashes in and go. There's still a chance if they move now.
They have to get a wiggle on. And they are coming. Elige clearing through coffins. Simple. Needed one there. The flash is good. Okay, in a second, they will collapse. Navi need perfecto, and they will get on for the 10 seconds. Oh, wow. Liquid up against the odds there, up against the ropes. But Navi, they were just chipped away at everyone contributing. And look how close that round gets. Just in time, 15 in the bank. And yeah, you saw the poll, people thinking Navi can get more than 5.
I think it's an easy.
Easy.
How's that taste?
Oy, oy, oy. Nitro, good finds from them. Do you think this is going to get under Navi's skin? Like, this is the furthest from their expectations, especially after their game against 9, where it felt like, okay, oh, we're playing Navi counter. And you've got Liquid, who had a 3-map barn burn against Fluxo a couple of days ago.
Yeah. I think, like, when you look at the game that Navi had against Gamer Legion, right, there was just clutches that went against them that made the scoreline feel a little bit closer. And you're going to lose a couple of those rounds. It was Liquid taking on 9. Right. So those 4 names are here in the conversation for the openers for sure. And that was Nitro playing exceptionally well on Overpass, I believe. But this has just been the Yakinda conversation. 27 kills in 19 rounds of play, and he can make it better into round 20 and send Navi down a peg here, 16-4. So this is just a flattening. Yeah,
part of me wants to see if Yakinda can hold on to this and finish as strong as he started. That 140 ADR. If he can keep it up, one more kill and a half here, and he'll be ending on that stat if they do manage to put it across the line here. They're walking in towards an Elige mid-hold with OC. They're being very deliberately loud about this boiler presence. And OC's still sticking around. Oh, Elige looking straight at Electronic. Quick trade, quick smart. Advantage Navi. Nitro, they know he's likely pit side. The anchor in this position, going to have a nade thrown right on the money. And he's softened up for 40, but they're not in any rush, right?
But this is where he did good work against Greyhound, right? They limped one at a time and he got multi-kills. They haven't actually pushed the smoke here. They understand the power of this. So with the second wave of attack coming, it has actually allowed the rotation of NAF to float over.
Yeah, he's coming, but Nitro's already let one into the site, and it's Electronic that will secure it. So all onto Nitro. One headshot, insufficient. And Yakinda, though, he has been hitting many shots he takes. He also likes to play the macroeconomics of it all.
Well, maybe I'll take it back. It's 5 now. Oh, you said more than 5?
We did.
So next round.
Okay.
That's where it will all be decided. Me versus the Blast TV chat.
If I had horses, Chad, I'd be holding them right now.
Well, get yourself in the stable.
Liquid wish they could hold on to this as their horse is galloping towards 16.
This would have been the conversation if the first half was competitive. We would have been talking about how the Liquid new CT defense would weigh up against a tier 1 team. That would have been the conversation. How would Nitro and Elige go as the A-site anchors, especially Nitro over towards that pit position? How would they be able to stand up to Navi and some of their players like Electronic coming in? The good trading that Navi traditionally have. So that would have been a highlight here. And that will only become a conversation if Navi can go for, well, 10 more rounds straight to make it 11 consecutive, and thus the overtime conversation. But if that doesn't happen, it will just be the conversation of Liquid blowing them out of the water here. Now, they do just have the saved AK and some light upgrades. Naf's got out a bit of Kevlar, a 5.7. And considering how this game has gone, Alex, there is a chance that Navi lose the game here.
Yeah, I
think very much so they lose the game here. There's just a feeling in the water right now.
Oh, most definitely.
It might be the water itself.
Well, yeah. Yakinda definitely moving like water. Feeling...
Yeah, look at this. See, he's so unleashed, and he's just going to take the first light. That's snatched away. The AWP gets the trade, sure.
But, yeah...
It's going to unravel them. It's going to unravel them in a big way. There's 2 smokes on the deck. Navi are going to go slow. They don't know what else there is. They're not pressuring anywhere else. You can see how this one's going to unfold.
Yeah, furrowed brow and a very tall task. 10 rounds in a row from here.
I know that they still have the AK under their remit to Navi, so those guns can't be snatched away as they do block top banana. Now, if they gamble rotate quickly, they can get there in time because Navi are coming up short silently. Okay.
Yeah, so OC's going to go from nothing to report to I've lost the sight. I say that. There's the trade. He does deliver the headshot. He'd love more. Dancing around with Simple, unable to put it on his head, and now into the sight, calls it clear, and will go for a wide plant for pit.
That's one of those rounds that I wonder if it's a tendency for Navi. They know, okay, so Liquid on a round where they have one save gun. If they put Yakinder aggressive, they've likely stacked elsewhere, and we should call the bluff because he'll tell them not to. I wonder if those are one of those little like layers of study from Blade and the team.
Yeah, I mean, some teams even have players dedicated to that. You know, the analyst role in terms of counters, in terms of team tendencies and identifying exactly what they're going for. I think Blade likes to do all of it himself. But yeah, that particular branch of thinking is sometimes even covered by a whole role in some of these organizations.
Well, there it is, everybody. You were correct at home, or at least the majority of you. There it is, easy. They got 6, just like that. It will be a buy round for Liquid now, so that was just 1 AK in play and a couple of light upgrades. But here we go. It should be the bells and whistles that they're hoping for, all the goodies. It is crazy, like, how much further ahead of the rest of the team Yakinder is, right? He has 28 kills. The next closest on his team is OC and Naf, who both have 12. So it really tells you just the type of job that Yakinder has been doing here today. On the other side, Simple has 20, and the next closest is Bit with 12. So Yakinder is quite clearly the difference maker in that frag distribution. There's no doubt about that. It's been the conversation point throughout. It's been the hot topic. But just one round on your CT side, it's really not enough.
Just ask Navi. Well, at the moment, Liquid only have 1 CT round to boast.
I got there's a little bit earlier in the piece.
That's fair. That's fair. And yeah, in terms of managing to claw this one all the way back for Navi, it's not a conversation I'm ready to entertain. I think Liquid have done all of the necessary dirty work in that first half. An aggressive smoke. We call it the G2. I'm sure the teams call it whatever they want. But this is looking a bit pacey towards Yakinder's B side. Wow, lots of damage inflicted early. Look at that. Perfecto and Electronic have just been humbled. Yakinder won back from this nade exchange, and they're going for an app setup. Now, Bit has been tasked with taking it.
Look at this.
Yeah, not going to be an easy clear. Look at the placement of the crosshairs. One's playing that jiggle close, one's playing the wide swing.
But this was something they did even through the challenger stage with some of these more forward setups. Bit's about to get the surprise of a lifetime here.
Who's doing the jiggle? Or is he going wide? I think he suspects he wants a flash.
So many bodies here.
What, you underhanded? You just oh, perfect placement of the crosshair, and it's NPL and Bit that get through it. Oh, beautiful from the young gun. A double takes down OC, close quarters. That combat AWPing falls flat. And a 7th.
Yeah, just too many bodies in apartments. Ready for that third, wasn't he? I wonder if they want to hunt here. They don't really have the cash to do so. Navi might want to hold on to a few of their pennies and allow Yakinder and Naf to hold on to what they have.
Now, when you said Inferno was T-sided, you weren't talking 14.
No. Come on now. That would be something, wouldn't it? It'd be a story for the ages here if Navi can bring this one back. Look, with every round they step ever closer, and not only us, I think the people at home may start to believe, but this is the thing. You have to play perfect Counter-Strike from here on out. You can't make a single footfall. Here's the trades from MPL. First was good. Second was great. Littered corpses in the apartments. A bit of a banger right there.
Understandable frustrations, but also
wow, when you one round away, yeah.
Not necessary.
Reel it in.
Yeah, chili beans.
Calm down a bit. It's all good. Unlucky, guys. We tried to move. It didn't work.
Yeah.
We have plenty more moves we can make over the rest of this game.
And these other 5 human beings holding the mouse and keyboard on the other side of the room, they are also humans too. They might make a mistake and we might be able to punish it.
And in this matchup, they're under a lot more pressure than we are because we only need one more.
Yep.
So, you know, everything is against Navi and everything's going well for Liquid. So make sure you can keep your lid on it, Liquid, as they will be able to, off the back of those save guns, get out a very tidy looking purchase here. Just an MP9 emission for Nitro. The rest of them with all the goodies, even an OC. Big green out to play.
Yakinder wants to go for blood. Immediately goes looking and finds only frag damage.
3-man B start here as well. So Navi are putting a lot more pressure again. Maybe this was part of the game. They thought, okay, well, if it is going to be Nitro and Elige playing over to towards A, it was the conversation that I didn't even really start having before. Maybe it's a weakness that we can exploit here. Because to be a good pit holder, right, that's a position that you can get a lot out of if you're a very good player. So Nitro about to be tested here.
Yeah, a lot for him to do already down in the mini pit. And he's got so much on his plate. Down goes Naf. Elige does contribute with Nitro's help. Both of them find their frag.
Number advantage here. Could close it right.
Something to be said as through the wall, through the smoke, and through it all, Simple has caught another. Just as we were talking about the advantage, and Electronic and Simple, they didn't get the memo. No advantage for their opponent whatsoever. And just falling into place beautifully.
Simple hit him twice there, right? Simple was the damage that was done first to Nitro when we're on his POV, and then he hit that shot again through the wall. So double wall bangs there from Simple to finish that one off. And 8. So just 7 more now.
Returning to what you brought up as well in terms of, you know, targeting that ace site, I also think let's add on to that. Let's go to the site Yakinda's not at the moment, because he's got a hot hand. You know, let's also.
I think they do go hand in hand, right? Definitely so. Like that conversation.
Again.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So that conversation, right? Definitely. I don't think. Like if Simple heard those words, if Blade, I think he would probably be infuriated by that type of gameplay. But to go Nitro, one of their weaker individuals, right? In a position because we know that this CT setup is new for this team. It's now Naf and Yakinda holding B. It's Nitro and Elige crossfiring over towards that A side, and then OC. He's obviously the AWPer, so he's a lot more flexible in that type of a role. So the setup here, they're just looking to exploit something which hasn't really had reps in officials against tier 1 teams. They only played against Fluxo and Greyhound throughout the challenger stage that we got our eyes on. And this is the thing, when you've had your eyes on Liquid, you've been looking for these changes that they even announced in interviews in the lead up that people would be able to notice. And yeah, there have been some role swaps, some position changes across these maps, and Inferno being one of them. Yeah, and I mean, one of the reasons that given in that great interview, fully recommend reading the full one over on HLTV from Nitro, but one of the things he talked about was, of course, getting the text that his wife was in labor the first day of boot camp. That will one of the few excuses, I think,
a very valid one.
Yeah, you don't get to use that one. You get to use that one once every 9 months.
Yeah.
So.
But understandable as to why, you know, when because he talked about the fact that they like to reinvent themselves or / you know, readdress. I think revise was the word he used when you're coming into a big tournament.
Furious smoke.
Oh,
yeah.
Big start. NPL down. Hinging on Yakinda to extend their advantage as now 2 bodies from Navi watching helplessly as this Inferno slipping through their fingers, burnt to a cinder. 54 damage inflicted to Perfecto. Simple as well, licked down a little. Around the smoke, Yakinda, he wants to finish it right here. Didn't see it. Doesn't strike. Perfecto does, and with Bit's help, they've managed to tie it back up.
Oh, Bit was about to go there. I think he realized Nitro's still alive, and now he can confirm exactly where the trajectory of that smoke came from. So a good idea on Nitro's position. Still have to worry about OC's AWP, but Naf.
Trapped.
This is a good position for him to be in. It means a whole lot of information. He knows that Navi don't have full banana control right now, which means that OC and Nitro need to be aware the fight is coming.
Orb the AWP action, we get that AWP head-to-head. Instead, Perfecto dead and relocating his OC. Nitro's turn. One would be great. Bit caught out. OC contributes again. And it's all OC to close. That is Liquid's Inferno. Navi humbled by Team Liquid. Not what we were expecting. You take a look at the odds, the predictions.
The challenger stage.
The challenger stage. And the man at the front of this pack for the handshakes has got a lot of brownie points. Definitely a gold star.